March, my friends, it's here. We're in it. First Monday of March. I hope your start to the springtime is in line with spring. Frankly, hope February was strong, and let's get after it. March is where we get started, right? It's the spring. Start to get in the summer selling months. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of competition out there. A lot of different things happening, and that's really what brings me to my point today, which is inspect what you expect. A topic talked about on this show ad nauseum over the last 370 episodes or whatever it's been. Um, yeah, we've discussed it at length, but the reason that it bears repeating is that I'm seeing a lot of things in the market about selling less cars, making less money, and everyone's saying, but nothing's changed. Well, that's the problem. Is that everything on the consumer side has changed. Everything. So it you need to have adapted with it. This is not fucking COVID anymore. So if we're trying to like hold mad gross on new cars, I respect it. If you got an area where you can pull it off, I nothing but respect for you. If you're gonna come to me and say you don't move enough units, but your average gross is still 6 grand, can't help you. This isn't COVID anymore. Is the reality that you're going to have to go to 2 grand to sell 40 instead of, yeah, I mean, that's where we're there. I mean, it's not an entire race to the bottom. And that's not what I'm implying at all. What I'm implying is that everyone has gotten more aggressive. Everyone. Your competition, all the people outside of their competition, even the people you would consider like your fourth competition. People have gotten more aggressive. They've gotten more competitive. The landscape has changed in most major metros, and people are adjusting. Now, this doesn't mean that they're better than you or bigger. That's not what we're saying. People have changed. Okay, remember, COVID and COVID got a lot of people to just stop doing everything, stop spending money, stop going great, right? Then they sold a bunch of cars. They knew we're not spending money, not spending money, not spending money. That's 2 years, 3 years. 3 years hit, 4 years hit. 5 years post, they realize, oh my God, I'm not spending any money and I'm way behind the eight ball. Other people are spending money. What I can tell you is if 10 years ago you decided to just invest in organic traffic and never spend a dollar on your website, you can still do that today. I see it. I watch it. I've watched clients do it. I know it exists. I watch the data every single month. You cannot make that choice now. The landscape's too competitive. It's past that. Now you have to pay to play, pay to be involved. And I know no one likes it. So when we go down this road and we start talking about spending money and looking at things, I realize why people don't spend money. Is because they don't really know what they're getting for it. It's as my buddy Frank says, it's a gray matter. It's gray matter. It's bullshit. Digital marketing data is bullshit. Okay. I'm an activities tracker. So when I look at your data, I look at the amount of activity taking on in your dealership, CRM, GA4, and anywhere else I possibly can. That's me. I'm inspecting what is expected of the vendor. I am in less than 100 stores across the country. So what the fuck are the other 3,000 doing? They have marketing directors. Anyone who knows a marketing director knows that we're their best friend because they're spread way too thin to begin with, especially multi-store operation marketing directors. Give me a break. So much expected of these people inside and outside the dealership, fundraising, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Community events, I don't care. The marketing directors take the heat of that. And without teams, that's some difficult work. My marketing directors, I have nothing but love for you. So when we talk about inspecting, though, let's go beyond marketing. In a way, marketing impacts it, but let's look at the actual sales floor. Who is taking a look at what is going on there, might I ask? Who's looking around? Who's jumping into shit? How many managers do you have versus how many do you need? And once you figure that out, what are they doing for the day? Every day, all day, we sell cars. We're penciling deals. It's not likely for a lot of people. For some, sure, I don't doubt it. But for a lot of people, that is not the case. So what are we doing with our time? How are we looking into what our people are doing and saying? More specifically, on the phone. Okay. So you've heard me before say on this show that I used to listen to phone calls religiously when I was in the stores. I was invested. That was part of it. As soon as I got outside the store to listen to calls, they made me sick in my stomach because they're train wrecks. And again, when I was in stores, it was about making people better. Now that I'm out of stores, it was still about making people better, but the level of investment is different because you got to go somewhere else the next day and do it again. So you can't get overly invested like I did when I ran stores. Point is, here I am, what, 12 years into car biz, and I can't. Our CRM department is run by someone entirely different than me. It has to be. I can't. First of all, I don't have the stomach for the work in general, CRMs and diving, but listening to phone calls as a job. My wife used it when we first started. My wife was helping us out, listening to phone calls, doing like a little quick like ABC grading scale thing for us. It was really simple, and she would be like, "Oh my god, this is exciting!" And she would play it for me, and I would be like, "Exciting! I would fire these people. It's ridiculous." And what I realized was that who has trained them? Who has trained them? Project we're working on with our great client out in Arizona. Training program. Train the trainer. Why? Who's training them? Think about this for a moment, if you will. I know that people want to train people when they stay. I would contend that if you start training them before they stay, that they're more likely to stay. Okay. However, if in training, if we are consistent in our training and it is expected of people to engage and be a part of, then that's good. But most people aren't. So you hired a salesperson today. Think to yourself. Think that done, not me. You. Hire a salesperson today. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? What happens next? What do they have to do? Some states have to get a license. Other states don't. Do you give them inventory? Do you tell them to go sit in front of a portal? What do you do? What do you do? Now, just remember this. That's the training. Whatever that is, that's what you gave them. Okay? Along the way, they've got to learn how to use technology, blah, blah, blah. And maybe they get training, maybe they don't. Trainer comes in for the product, whatever. Okay, fine. Now that guy sells cars. Everyone loves him. He's great. What happens now? Top salesman makes our best manager. False information. As a matter of fact, they typically make the worst manager. But in car math, that's how we do it. So now here we are. The manager. Manager is now responsible for talking and training of new hires. Who trained and hired and talked to the new hire before he was a manager? That manager, he kills it. This grand and dust. Now he goes into finance. Now he goes there. Now he's a general manager. Now he's looking down on the whole operation. Talking about training, talking about making people better. But what does he know? Who is he trained? Who's watching him? That's the crux of it, man. If you're looking for more car deals, really, really, really dive into your CRM. And I'll bet you there are phone calls that will make you puke. There are phone calls that will make you want to fire people. Instead of doing that, instead of feeling that way, I implore you to try and make them better. Try and make them better because turnover is just as expensive as missed opportunity. So try to make them better. But give them a lifeline. Give them a training. Give them a inspection. So that's what's really cool about what we're doing at CRM Done Better. It's like training without anyone knowing. That's the goal of training. It's just constant inspection. It's happened to us at CarBiz. But dealers, vendors we work with, that we've been working with for a long time, they know exactly what I'm looking for. They know exactly what's going on. So as I say, hey, this is what I found, they go, oh, no problem, we'll fix it. Because we all know. We've all been looking at it. We're all invested. But we continue to look at the same inputs and outputs to measure success. You can do whatever you want with changing units and grosses and all of this. But at the end of the day, make sure you're tracking the metrics that are important to you and don't vary from those metrics. Not for a vendor, not for a new manager. Have it be a top-down decision. How to train, what to track, and communicate those things with people. It'll be a lot easier. That's it. Go out, have yourselves a wonderful start to March, and we'll see you again next week.